Hi, it's Howard Jackson back again. I'm CEO of Hub4Leaders and also the School Bus. What I wanted to do was continue with my series of my experiences of really working with great leaders, inspirational leaders throughout my time. I've been very fortunate to work with a lot of outstanding leaders, and I'm sharing those experiences with you. So what I wanted to do today, fairly short, well, I'm going to be going into these in a lot more detail over the coming weeks, but basically as a bit of an overview of the sort of top 10 of characteristics, in my opinion, of great leaders. And it would be good to score yourself against this as well. So how many of these do you satisfy and agree with that apply to yourself? So but basically it's overview today, and then with a view to, in the future weeks, going into each of these issues, looking at strategy, look at how great leaders are able to implement strategy and engage people and make things work. So, but just an overview, top 10, the things that great leaders do, the characteristics that are all consistent. They have a singular vision. So that's important. Laser focused. They have a singular vision. They're not all over the place thinking of 25, 30 different things all at once and getting none of them done very well. So that's the danger. And you know yourself, if you've been in this position, sometimes you're so busy and you're thinking about so many things, you can't do any of them very well. So great leaders have this singular vision. They're able to win friends and influence people. And that's often personality, charisma, whatever you want to call it. They're able to do that. And by the very personality, the type of people they are, they're able to win these friends, influence people. Just ask yourself, when was the last time that somebody you really didn't like and didn't respect came up with a suggestion and you fully took it on board? Probably never. But when somebody that you really respect is influential, great leader, one that you do think has got real passion in everything that they do, and they come up with an idea, how much more are you prepared to listen to it and get involved with it? So influencing people is a key trait, that characteristics of great leaders. So they're powerfully passionate about what they're trying to do. If you're not passionate and enthusiastic about what you're trying to do, how can you expect anybody else to get involved and deliver those objectives for you as well? So they're very persistent. That's number 4. They're very persistent in what they're trying to achieve. See it through. How many leaders have you worked with where they just come up with initiatives, and then a few weeks later they come up with another initiative, and a bit later another initiative, and in the end people start to lose faith and don't even try to get engaged and deliver on those initiatives, because they just think, well, we'll just give it a couple of weeks and he or she would have got bored with it and we'll be moving on to something else. So, but great leaders, characteristics of great leaders, they're very persistent. They're mentally and physically resilient, because you get a lot of knockbacks. It's a tough job. And they have to be mentally and physically resilient. So that's one thing I see as a characteristic of great leaders. They have an eye for talent. As a leader, I've always thought my role is not just about leading, it's also about creating more leaders within the organisation. So that's important, giving everybody the opportunity, supporting them when needed, getting them engaged, really looking for talent. My role as CEO is to look for younger, more talented people than me. And it's one of the easiest jobs I've got, because they're all younger and they're all more talented. So that's a great thing. But we're constantly looking at that, looking at recognising great talent. A lot of people say to me, the limited success that you've had, maybe what's it down to? And I always say, surround yourself with great people. That's what leaders do. Great leaders, they surround themselves with great people, not scared one bit that people are more informed, know more about anything subjects than them, and feel intimidated by that. They're actually trying to develop, nurture that. They're always trying to improve. That's number 7. They're continually improving. No matter how good you are, they're constantly trying to get even better. And sometimes it's just marginal gains. It might be a 1% or 2% improvement. But if you're outstanding, they don't sit back. They just constantly try and improve and just push that improvement a little bit more. We can always be better. And they're all fearless. So fearlessness is something that runs through as a characteristic of great leaders. So they're not scared of of doing things sometimes that people are so frightened of doing things that they don't actually do it, don't tackle things, don't take that risk. Fearlessness is certainly a characteristic. They own their mistakes. That's something else that all great leaders do, a characteristic of great leaders. They own the mistakes. They're not trying to deflect the flak and blame somebody else. They take responsibility. And my principle has always been, what I always try and do, and it's whether it's with myself or whether it's anybody else, 5% of the time and effort and energy I look at if there's an issue, 5% of the time I look at the problem. 95% I spend my time and effort and energy in looking at the resolution, looking at how we're going to deal with it, how we're going to make improvements, and so on. So I try and strike up that sort of balance. And finally, they all show toughness when required, and that's a key trait as well, a characteristic. And often that people in the organisation are looking at leaders to make those tough decisions. So it's difficult at times, but nevertheless, that's one of the great characteristics, is they will make tough decisions when needed, and often people are looking at you as a leader to make those tough decisions. So hopefully what I'm going to do is expand on these over the next quite a number of weeks on what it actually means, and sort of anecdotal evidence of what I've seen and the characteristics of great leaders. So hopefully you've scored yourself 10 out of 10. But whatever your score is, I hope that you clearly see that some of the things there, maybe there's some work to do yet. Maybe you're the finished article. Sure. But anyway, look forward to hearing from you soon and speaking to you soon. Bye.